Nice.
The king of kings. On your knees, dog.
Let you guys enjoy this one for a little while. This is the War Report brought to you by TagMeADate.com. And we have a new WWE champion, in case you haven't heard. And really, it's Tuesday, so you should have heard by now. Triple H has won the Royal Rumble match. We have a main event set for Fastlane that will then determine the main event of WrestleMania. It's a whole thing. We have lots to talk about. And, of course, my cat is down here chewing on my seat. How is everybody doing today?
Awesome.
Can't complain. We got a decent Royal Rumble to talk about. We have the Raw after that we definitely need to talk about. We got a Freedman 5 that'll take up the rest. Before we get started, though, I just want to announce two quick things. Any fans of the War Report, stay tuned and make sure you're checking in regularly. We've got two people that are lined up that are confirmed coming on the podcast. We're just finalizing the dates. But we got TNA's own Robbie E. is going to be on the podcast, so we'll be able to talk to him a little bit. And then we have the Bullet Babe herself.
Oh,
Amber is coming on the podcast.
Amber, you got Amber O'Neil. That's wonderful.
Amber O'Neil, I actually spoke to privately chat on Twitter. We talked for a while during Raw, and she,
awesome.
So we're working it out. She's real excited to be teamed up with Tag Me and Date. We're excited to have her. What a great time to have her, helping out Tag Me and Date, sponsoring us, being a part of Tag Me and Date, especially when AJ Styles finally is in the WWE. So we got a lot of good things happening, and special shout out to Robbie E. We're going to be doing some great things with him as well. And we appreciate all the support over at Tag Me and Date, and it's just going to help us continue to get bigger and better, and we got a lot of shit coming. So stay tuned. We got good shit coming.
Excellent. That's what I like to hear. It's always nice to know we're going to get some guests now. It's been a while. I think we had Dr. Tom, and that was like our last guest, so it'll be good to have somebody else in here that's, especially those two, because Robbie's changed, I guess over the past year or so, they've been trying to transition him out of that whole Jersey Shore thing, which is a little played out, to be more of a fully fleshed out character. So I'm glad about that, because we used to run in the same circles. He'd run Northeast Wrestling all the time, so it'll be good to catch up with him and see what he's up to. So what shall we do? Get right into the Freedman 5, because
we got a lot to cover. I say we get right into it.
Jesus H, do we ever? We have a lot of things to cover. This was a jam-packed, just Sunday alone you could talk about probably for hours. So let me get the music ready, because our Freedman 5 is our 5 topics we discuss every week, as my soundboard app tries to get me to buy that new game with Arnold Schwarzenegger. No, thank you. I'll go play our song, as the Freedman 5 is curated by one of our resident Jews, Eric Friedman. And again, it is our 5 topics, and in honor of that, here's the song.
And you're going to get a 5 count. Do you hear that? You're going to get a 5 count.
3 ain't enough, man. I need 5. Just kick him up. More time to keep your ass alive.
Go for it.
All right. Well, obviously we have the Royal Rumble, we have Raw. That's 2. I personally think AJ Styles deserves his own. That's a whole thing.
Jesus Christ, right?
You know? Let's see. Jeff Hardy has signed with TNA. He's re-signed. So I guess we could put those rumors to rest about the Hardys back in WWE, but you never know. I didn't read how long the contract is for. And really, everything else is kind of like intertwined with Raw and the Rumble. So
kind of is, yeah. I mean, it's all the Fastlane thing, and Raw last night kind of was just like a continuation.
And also, Bret Hart was not a fan of the Rumble, apparently.
Oh, of course not.
Well, no surprise.
Jesus. You know, I still don't. He'll complain about that, but then if somebody complains about him and Shawn not wanting to pin or put each other over in an hour-long Iron Man match that it had to go one fall. Come on now. Like, you can't give up, you both of you guys can't give up 1 or 2 falls, put that ego aside, make it an interesting Iron Man match instead of a draw. I mean, I know it was interesting, fans love that match, but go back and watch it. It's a long match.
It's a chore to get through it, I'll be honest. Like, at the time, it was cool, really cool, and it's awesome, but it is. It's, especially with no pinfalls or submissions or whatever, the whole time.
Yeah, that was kind of rough. But, well,
Oh, and last but not least, happy birthday to the Maestro.
Yes, I saw that on Facebook today.
Birthday today. Happy birthday, Stro. Big, good friend to us here.
And I don't know if you mentioned, but something else that needs to be thrown on the list that we need to discuss is that Sonny has officially done porn.
Thank you.
And I have to tell you, I watched the teaser.
So did I.
And I will not be paying to see this video.
Can you hear me? All right.
If it was Sonny, 20 years ago, then that's another story. But from watching the teaser, I am no longer interested in seeing that video.
Oh, that made me so sad.
Horrible.
That poor woman.
Horrible.
She did not look like she was enjoying what that man was doing with his penis at all.
No.
Like, that's part of the problem with it. It just didn't look like she was having any fun. Like, it looked like somebody who was at the end of what they could do and needed to get into porn to make money. Like, that's really what it looked like. It is. Save your money. This is what they should show all the other divas and tell them, this is why you get a 401k. This is why you have savings. This is why,
He's thrifty like Mick Foley,
Jeez, Mick Foley drives the same, 1997 Dodge Caravan that he's been driving for the past 20 years.
Yeah. Well, enough of that bitch.
Yeah.
I say we get right into the Rumble, boys.
Hell yes.
So, here's my take on the Rumble. I enjoyed it a lot bit more this year than I did last year. The matches prior to the Rumble, I thought each and every one of them was fantastic. The only one that I was really disappointed in, to be honest, was the Charlotte-Becky Lynch match. I don't know why. I mean, they're both great wrestlers. I enjoyed Sasha Becky more on Raw, that match, than I did the Becky Lynch-Charlotte match, and I don't really know why. But that was really my only thing. I think Ambrose and Owens stole the show.
Yeah.
What a hell of a way to open, and they really set the bar high. So really great job. And then we talk about the Rumble. I was somewhat shocked that AJ Styles was number 3.
Yeah.
But I am glad that he was number 3 and was in there for a good 20 minutes. I mean, this is a guy who has finally made it to the big show. And this is the hottest free agent in the game. I mean, it's not very easy to make a name for yourself without ever being in the WWE. Very few can do it. Right. And, there was no WCW to help them get over, But TNA, really was the launching pad, because at that time TNA was awesome, and they had a leader in AJ Styles. And he's won multiple championships all around the world. I am happy as hell that he's in the WWE. I'm glad they're giving him his moment. I will say I was unimpressed with the crowd reaction he got on Raw. I liked the reaction during Mania, because they chanted AJ Styles well into the match. His merchandise sold out almost immediately, which is always a great sign.
1.5 million views on YouTube, too, in one day.
Right. So AJ being in there and getting time, I thought was great. The actual Rumble itself, I thought was pretty cool. There were not many surprises, but AJ was a big enough, not really a surprise, we all kind of knew, but it was enough where I was happy. And,
you didn't know exactly what was going to happen with AJ. You knew he'd be there. Maybe he'd run in the crowd, maybe the Bullet Club. You didn't know. You knew something would happen, but not exactly that, which was
right.
Nice.
I also don't necessarily. I'm happy I was wrong. That I was wrong with how the match was going to finish. I got to be honest with you. I don't know how I feel about Reigns losing the title, and I don't know how I feel about Triple H winning the title. I mean, it's always great to see Triple H as champion. He still got it. I mean, he hasn't missed a beat. You know, he looks great, but at the same time, he is the CEO. You know, like, don't come back and just take the title. You know, Roman Reigns, whether you want to like him or not, he's earned his spot. You know, what this guy's been through the last year, and quite honestly, his popularity grew up until the pay-per-view last night, and then he just got shit on.
Yeah, but that's because they did this. They saddled him with number one, so already he was screwed from being number one.
Right.
And then, in the middle of it, he has this fucking injury thing, where, first of all, if you're injured, you're either injured and you're out of the match, or you can compete and you're in the match. Look at Kevin Owens. He came out and limped out. Like, he just had a last man standing match. So, the worst part was, it was a stretcher job. This is how fucking crazy they are about making this guy look strong. It was a stretcher job where the guy didn't take the stretcher and still left for half an hour.
Right.
And then
How?
And then came back. Yeah, at least if he was stretchered out and then came back late, that's a little different.
See, and the only thing that I really do like about the finish is that at that moment when Reigns left, everybody sat there and was like, oh, fucking great. So he's out, but we know he's going to come back and he's going to win, and that's how he's going to keep the title. Yeah. And then he came back and everyone's like, here we go. And then Triple H changed the game. And changed
I'm okay with I'm okay with that finish.
Yeah, I mean, I guess in retrospect, that's a good finish. I still just don't know if it should have been Triple H. You know, give it to Bray. Give it to, you know, Brock. I mean, and that's the other thing. We need to talk about Brock Lesnar for a minute, because I don't know about any of you, but when he got screwed and got taken out, I honestly thought he was going to flip the fuck out and run back in the ring and give everybody F5s and leave.
He should have.
And why wouldn't he do that?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Instead, he just looked at them, he walked away, and he didn't even come out on Raw. So, what the fuck? But anyway, overall, I think it was a great fucking pay-per-view, and we'll get into Raw, but I want to hear everyone else's thoughts on it.
I'll tell you what, if it wasn't for the fact that Ambrose retained his IC title, you would have thought there was that little glimmer of hope that he might win the rump. Like, I still had, like, maybe. Is there a chance? I'm pretty sure it's Triple H, but, like, I'm like, I don't know. You never know. But, it was definitely a lot better than last year. Yeah, all the undercard matches were very good. The whole Kalisto winning back the U.S. title, why didn't they just have him win it from Del Rio to begin with, and then their rematch happens at the Rumble where Kalisto retains? Why didn't they just do that?
I agree.
Yeah.
Not that I have a problem with him winning. I hate hot potatoing the title. I hate it. And that's the only problem I have with. I don't have a problem with Triple H being the champion and winning the Rumble per se, but the problem I do have is you pretty much know it's going to be Reigns versus Triple H at WrestleMania, or do we? But it's pretty much almost a given that that's the match. And what bothers me the most is just the fact that you know Reigns is going to win.
And have his Mania moment.
And have the title for the third time in 4 fucking months.
Right, well, that's the problem.
I hate that shit. It worked with The Rock and Mick Foley, but they're, let's be honest, Roman Reigns is no Rock or Foley.
Right.
And that's not a knock on Reigns, I'm just saying. But yeah, I guess the women's match, there was a little, I don't know what it was. I agree, there was something missing. I don't know what it was. It was a good match, but, and I do like the story they're going into. They're still definitely teasing the whole Flair, Charlotte and her father breakup thing.
Yeah, something along those lines.
When I'll tell you what made the match though was after the match when Sasha came out.
Dude, Sasha Banks got the loudest pop of the entire night.
Out of anybody, yeah.
Out of anybody. Like, that was insane. And it was awesome. She did a great job. And, I like what they're doing with Sasha.
I didn't like that they had her push Becky out of the ring, because I thought that was kind of like a shitty way to, like, write her out of the feud. And then it was like two heels going at each other. So I was a lot happier that on Raw, it seems like they're bringing all three of these girls in for potentially a triple threat at WrestleMania, which would be very nice.
I hope that's the case. I really do.
And then Sasha will win at Mania.
Yeah, like whatever, regardless of what the finish of Mania, I think Sasha has to challenge, and then something has to happen. Like she has to lose or get screwed over at Fastlane, and then her and Becky are both like, "Hey, man, we both got screwed. We need to fix this." And there you go. There's your WrestleMania.
Well, that's easy because you got Flair out there, so you can easily say, Flair, interfered or,
Yeah, exactly.
And
so
then when Charlotte does lose the title, then she could kind of like have it, blame her father or something.
Right, that would be the big breakup.
Some kind of mishap or something.
Well, they're already kind of teasing that. You notice,
Right.
Charlotte's facial expressions every time Flair does something.
When when he said last week, when he said yes to the match on her behalf, and you look at her face, was priceless.
Yeah.
And they teased it a little more last night, but yeah, I hope it leads to a triple threat. The Rumble itself, definitely a lot better than last year. Booked a lot better.
Dude, how about R-Truth?
Oh my God, that was awesome.
That was hilarious. Like, they're making him such an idiot, but it's entertaining, man. Like, it's hilarious.
I'm really looking forward to the Edge and Christian show, because it looks like R-Truth is going to get a chance to have R-Truth, Funaki. How many people did you see run through? A Puppet John Cena to go with Puppet H and Puppet McMahon? Okay, I'm sold on that.
Yeah, it's going to be
R-Truth. R-Truth was as dumb as a thing if that was to do at like number 23 or whatever. It was pretty deep into the Rumble for him to be pulling out a ladder looking for the Money in the Bank briefcase, but that was pretty fucking funny.
And I'm sorry, what did I tell you? Sami Zayn fucking came after Kevin Owens.
Yep.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know the
that could be a Mania potential. Sami Zayn versus Kevin
that'd be
Owens.
Nice.
Although
that'd
people
really
are
nice.
saying AJ versus Owens too.
Well, I'm hearing that AJ's first official feud is going to be with Kevin Owens, which I think is going to be great. I actually thought something might have even started on Raw, and we'll get into it, but it didn't. So, but we'll talk about it.
It didn't. Yeah. I liked the Rumble. I actually had issues with two matches. The women's match was a little sloppy, and I'm going to chalk that up to Charlotte, because I noticed a lot of stuff that she was a little not as tight on as she could have been. Kalisto Del Rio, there were some sloppy things in that match that this is one of the biggest, like arguably the second biggest pay-per-view or third, depending on how you look at SummerSlam, of the year. There are like 3 pay-per-views that matter: WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, and SummerSlam, and you're gonna go. You have to go out there and put on a top match. And it wasn't that; it was a whole 90% of the match was really good, but then they had like a sloppy sunset flip thing. They had the sloppy mask grab thing, and the Salida del Sol the first time didn't really look good. Like there were just things that you could pick out and be like, So it wasn't like I hated the match. It was a fine match. There was just some sloppy things. Owens and Ambrose, of course, stole the show. My thought was if Ambrose lost the title to Owens, that he was going to win the Rumble. But like Eric said, he won the title, so when it was him and Triple H, it's just like, oh, look, Roman's best friend is eating another loss for him.
Right.
So, and I hate that he's that guy now, because look at it this way. He's in that triple threat at Fastlane against Reigns and Lesnar. Reigns and Lesnar was last year's WrestleMania main event. And now he's got to go into last year's main event and beat one of those guys to get into the next year's main event. Is he just there to take the pin because they don't want Brock or Roman taking a pin?
Pretty
Is that
much.
the only reason he's in the match?
Yeah,
Because if
pretty
he's
much.
just there to eat the pin, then what the fuck?
But you know what else does that mean? That also means that the IC title is not going to be defended.
Right. Well, it won't be defended at Fastlane, but it could be defended at WrestleMania.
But I'm talking about Fastlane. You know, like. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
Not for
Fastlane's gonna have
nothing, the
that.
title should be defended at every pay-per-view. You know.
But what are
Yeah,
the
no, I
odds,
agree.
though? Like, what are the odds that they do actually Ambrose actually getting that win? I mean, obviously it's not going to happen, but would you be happy with that WrestleMania main event if it was Triple H versus Ambrose and Ambrose won the title?
I think they could do a lot to make that happen in 3 months. He's already over with the crowd. People like him.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, it's a different kind of story because he's not a well, they're trying to paint Roman as like this outsider, non-corporate guy, and then you look at him and he's the big Samoan guy who used to have brown eyes and now he's got blue eyes, and he's the most corporate-looking guy out there out of everybody. Like, he looks like somebody sat down and said, okay, I want to make a toy that's going to sell really well, and then I want to make that toy into a real-life person. What do we do? And they're like, well, here we go. You got a little 8-inch Roman Reigns, and they make that outfit for him, and he is the embodiment of one of those little 8-inch figures. Ambrose is not. Ambrose is that meth head that stumbled out of a trailer park, and you know he might pawn the belt. Who knows? What's he gonna do with it?
Yeah, I mean, see, that's why when the Shield broke up, that's why they had Rollins do the turn, because Ambrose doesn't fit that. I'm with the authority, like, you know what I mean? Kevin Owens, maybe, because he dresses like even though he dresses like a schlub, that's okay. But Kevin Owens, you know, he does it for his family. He does it for money. So he would be that corporate. He would be that corporate guy.
He's a prize fighter, Margo.
But Ambrose is, he's not. He's like, I guess you can liken him to Austin as far as like the anti-authority kind of vibe.
Kind of what he's in, and I think, I mean, if you look at the similarities with the music, kind of being like the motorcycle is similar to the glass breaking thing, and he kind of comes out Austin looking like, I mean, he's obviously not as jacked as Austin was, but if you look at the guy, he's lean. Here's the thing that I can't get over with this guy: he's lean as fuck. There's not like, he's not fat. He has no fat on him. He's just all muscle. He looks like the guys in Fight Club. Like, not someone that's building muscle and lifting weights, but like somebody that is training to bare knuckle fight you. So I kind of like, and that's what I like about Barrett. Barrett now, he used to be that big bulky looking popping out. Barrett slimmed down and he's got a really good look to him now. I just wish whatever was wrong with him, you know, they'd clear him to wrestle again.
Yeah, and then look at a guy like Neville too. Neville's built like a brick shithouse. Look at that.
Oh my God!
That's
for
amazing.
a guy that's 5.5 feet tall,
he's got like this Dynamite Kid thing going on. His
he's
body.
A perfect V, like a perfect triangle. It's amazing.
And Finn Balor too. Like, look at dude's abs; they're amazing.
Finn Balor,
I'm just saying.
His face looks like the bottom of his face looks like a bullfrog to me. But yeah, the rest of his body is just like, he's got a good shape to him.
Well, the Miz looks like a bullfrog.
Miz looked like a blind nun. Yo, how high was The Rock?
Yeah, he made a weird reference too.
Let's get
into Raw now.
Let's get into Raw. So, all right. Raw kicks off obviously with the McMahons, and then in the intro of Triple H, who still cuts a phenomenal promo.
Oh yeah.
You know, and
but isn't he the babyface? Like, he's cutting this promo and he's like, "You attacked a 70-year-old man, and you shouldn't do that, and you're trying to come in and take the title, and you have to earn my respect." And I'm like, this is all, he's making sense. These are all fair points. You beat up an old guy to take the title now.
It does make sense though.
And that's where it falls apart, is like, most of Raw is so good. Now, I'll let you get back to Steve. Most of Raw is so good until they get to the segments that focus on Roman Reigns, because they just don't know what to do. They still don't know what to do. I don't know why. They just have the inability to book a Roman Reigns segment that isn't absolutely cringe-inducing. Unless he just punches people. That's the solution. Punch people. All right, back to you, Steve.
yeah, no, it's true though. But I think overall, I thought Raw was decent. I mean, the best part obviously was The Rock, and it's funny because it would just mean so much more if we just didn't know. It's like when he shows up at Brooklyn and his music just hits or whatever.
Yeah.
It's it's like we all heard the rumor, and then not for nothing, but during the first match, there was a spot outside where I saw Rock's mom. So when she's there, he's gonna be there.
Oh, you did? You saw his mom? Okay, I didn't.
Yeah.
I wasn't looking for her, so I didn't see. But
I wasn't looking I wasn't
You
like,
just
I
happened-
wonder if she. I just happened to catch it, and they moved the camera real quick.
Oh yeah, of course
So-
they didn't want to give that away. But wow,
So
good catch.
yeah, but the Rock segment was just fucking classic, man.
Rock and New Day together was awesome.
Was awesome, but even before that, like The Rock getting out of the truck and throwing the keys to Miz and saying, "Hey, park this for me, bud," and like The Rock was just in rare form. Like he seemed like he was fucked up, but in a good way. Like he was just goofy, like the shit with Big Show, and then the segment with Lana was great, and then the countdown 3, 2, 1 behind the Gorillas, and then he comes out. I love how he went off script solely because they were telling talent to disregard the people and not talk about the Hogan and the Savage and the Rock, and he went off script and messed with them anyway, which was cool. And like anytime The Rock comes home, it's great. We shit on him because he's always leaving, but we love it when he comes back. And he just was a home run. He did a great job. And then, of course, to throw in the New Day. When I heard the New Day's music, I was like, oh, my God, he's going to turn Francesca sideways and sing it up their ass. Or,
That's exactly what he said he was going to do.
Right. And it was so great. The New Day was great with him, The Rock, and then the Usos. It's always great to see the families together. So that shit was great to me. I'll be honest, after that, I kind of lost interest in the rest of Raw because nothing was going to compare to that,
The Rock and the cat is trying to bat at the wire that's holding my camera up right now.
Stop it, you little rascal.
And then she'll go into the corner, so I can't get her. But anyway, The Rock was like on some 1980s Hulk Hogan shit last night. He was riding the white tiger, if you know what I mean. Like, he just went out there. First of all, he implied that... And there goes the camera. Hold on a second. He implied that he had sex with Lana.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, really, like, hardcore sex. Like, not just like, hey, baby, let's meet up. Like, she's flexible. Like, all this shit is like, oh, my God, Rocky, family show, family show.
Yeah, he...
Only The Rock can say shit like that and he can say testicles and penises and get away with it in a PG show.
You can't say penis on television. I don't think you can say penis on television.
that was so funny.
They said penis like 6 times, and I was like, no.
Yeah, it's just
See what happens
amazing.
there?
The Rock can get away with anything. It's amazing. Oh, Cat's not happy.
Oh, our
Cat is
truth
trying to
on
attack
Raw,
me right now.
on our truth again on Raw was funny too. When Goldust approached him about the partner.
Oh, shit, that was hilarious.
That was funny.
Oh, my God.
And it's
The
so
married
funny
man.
how out of nowhere he starts to go back into the Tourette's.
Yes.
Like out of left field. It was
Every so often, Goldust brings back the Tourette's thing. Yeah, it's...
ooh, ooh.
That's when Batista and Orton threw him into that electric shit.
Right? Oh, my
during
God.
the
That
early
was...
Evolution days.
Yeah, that was like 10 years ago. And then he dropped it. He brings it back every so often.
Now, if they're going in that direction, it reminds me of Goldust with Booker
Oh, yeah,
a
totally.
lot, which was odd at the time, when it first started, but awesome. It was
yeah.
that was hysterical, and like Booker saying, "I'm getting too old for this shit" and stuff like that, or Goldust hunting the NWO.
Yeah. Now, did you see...
as the crocodile hunter.
Did you see on Twitter? Stardust said Stardust is coming to an end.
Yeah.
He blacked out his icon, his Twitter icon in the background and the whole deal, so it looks like
yeah.
they're switching things up. I'm okay with that.
One more thing about the Rumble. I had heard a rumor that they were going to have Josh from Tough Enough in there just so people could beat the shit out of him for as a hazing kind of thing, like they did with Daniel Puder years ago. That didn't happen. I think it would have been hysterical if they did that.
They should have, that piece of shit.
I would have liked that.
Because remember that Rumble and like Benoit and Guerrero and Hardcore Holly.
Oh my God, they beat the Tar, and he didn't even do anything. That's the funny thing. He didn't even do anything, and he got the Tar beat out of him.
Yeah.
This guy actually did something. He'd get like if Hardcore Holly was still employed, or guys like that were still employed, or this Josh guy came in back in like 2000, 2001, he would have got that Miz treatment. He'd be out in the fucking changing in the hallway and everything, man. Probably still will be, but like they were more hardcore about that shit back in the day.
Hey, here's a question. Do you guys ever look at WrestlingRumors.net?
Mm-hmm.
Occasionally.
So they're reporting that that the WWE changed Royal Rumble plans halfway through the match.
Ooh.
I'm trying to see. Roman Reigns had one of the most interesting transitions into being a top guy. His dynamic in the Royal Rumble match, which entered, we know. According to the Inquisitor, having Ambrose and Triple H in the final two was not the original plan, and WWE changed it after Reigns entered the arena and was booed by the WWE Universe.
Because they wanted to have the stand down at the end. They probably wanted to do Austin McMahon.
Right.
Like they did in '99, but they couldn't do it because he'd get booed.
Right, that's the problem. So Reigns was taken out by the League of Nations halfway through the match and was taken in the back to reassess the finish of the match. It's being said that Triple H was always meant to win, but the decision was made to eliminate Reigns seconds to last and leave Ambrose in the final two because WWE didn't want the crowd turning on Reigns and cheering for Triple H instead. WWE knew Ambrose would have the underdog sympathy from WWE Universe enough for Triple H to gain heel heat by becoming the WWE Champion for the 14th time. I mean, it makes sense.
It does make sense, and now that makes more sense why he was pulled out, because if he won the Rumble, I would have been really upset because he wouldn't have earned it. In the same way that a guy like Ric Flair earned it.
Right. I agree.
Same way that a guy like fucking Rey Mysterio going an hour and something earned it. If he went from number one and won it and did a 30-minute stretcher job, it would have. You might as well not even have a goddamn Royal Rumble the next year, you know?
Ric Flair.
Yeah. They made the right call all the way around.
Guys like Rick Martel or Ted DiBiase, who were always in it for like 45 minutes or something.
Yeah, they'd have those Iron Man guys. Now here's the other issue, is that there were a couple guys in that match. This is technically a WWE title match. Do you want Curtis Axel in a fucking title match? Can we have 30 guys that are actually title contenders here?
Right. I agree with you.
Cat, why do you always got to knock shit off my counter?
I was worried that they were going to put the entire Social Outcasts in the match.
That would have been a waste of 5 spots.
Only did, and that's probably why they only put Axel in there.
Yeah.
Thank God.
No, that's a good idea.
Hey, by the way, can we talk about AJ Styles for the first time versus Chris Jericho?
Fuck me. That match would have been...
Well, forget the match for a second. We finally got to see his full entrance.
Let's
talk about the music is fucking awesome. They nailed the music, the pyro. You know, I love the fact that he was able to keep the AJ Styles gimmick. He was able to keep all the name, the merchandise,
phenomenal,
everything.
The whole
phenomenal, the whole fucking deal. You know, what he's worked to brand himself for, ever. And the match with Jericho was phenomenal. No pun intended. But it was a phenomenal match, and I love the shake at the end and the respect that was shown. It was well done. And
also, kudos to Jericho for a good Rumble performance, too. He was in there a long time. I mean, AJ was in there for almost 30 minutes. Jericho was in there like almost 40.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Jericho never disappoints, but you knew Jericho wasn't winning.
But AJ Styles, and even though I knew he was coming, I didn't quite know he was going to be that early or even at the Rumble in general. So I marked the hell out when he came out.
Yeah, I did too.
I was really excited. I was like, holy shit, because I didn't, it was still awesome to me, and if you noticed, they've been talking up the Styles Clash so much on commentary that it's going to happen eventually. They're going to tease it. You're not going to see it probably till Mania.
Right.
Me and Alexis were saying the same thing last night when I was texting her. I'm like, you know what? We both said it the same way you did. They're
The
saving
moment
it for
he goes
WrestleMania.
for it, the moments when he goes for it, the crowd pop is huge.
Oh yeah.
Now, if they somehow do, like, let's say they do pull the trigger on Dean Ambrose in the main event, and they somehow get the Intercontinental title off of him, how fucking cool would it be for AJ Styles to win his first WWE championship, the Intercontinental Championship, with a Styles Clash in one of those matches, like multi-man matches at WrestleMania?
Yeah, that would be awesome.
He, like, even if it's the ladder match, he hits the Styles Clash on somebody for the first time ever and then climbs the ladder and gets it. Like, it's going to be a moment. That Styles Clash is going to be a WrestleMania moment that's going to be on replays for years to come.
Yeah.
They were trying to, like, on NXT, they were trying to do that with Hideo Itami with the go to sleep.
Yeah, because everybody knew.
Except he got injured before they could, capitalize. But that's where I think this is leading, and it's going to be special. But they wouldn't have referenced it if it's not going to happen.
That's the other thing I was thinking, is that they know a couple things about the Styles Clash in the WWE. They may not know everything. They know that 2 people have been injured from the Styles Clash pretty seriously. 2 or 3 people. I think Kazarian might be one of them. Yoshitatsu was another, and then there's another guy. And what they're doing is, and the Kazarian just messed up. It's a rookie mistake because he's taken that move 1,000 times before the times he got injured. Yoshitatsu had never taken it before, so that's the kind of the issue. Is this is it's actually not a back bump. So if you're bumping on your back, you tuck your chin in. So when you hit the mat, your back hits first and you don't hit your head or your neck. If you're taking a stomach bump, like if you're falling face first, you put your head back, so then nothing hits. What most people do when they injure themselves is they go forward. So when they go forward, AJ jumps and he lands on their fucking head. If you put your head back, there is no way you get injured. It's the safest thing in the world. But it's that split-second decision of, oh, is this bump or this bump? And then you're fucked. So they know that, and they also know that it gets a big reaction from the crowd. So they don't want to. And not many guys can take it. He's 5'7", 5'8". He's like my height. He can't hit it on Roman Reigns. He could hit it on Chris Jericho. He could hit it on Neville. He could hit it on probably Owens and maybe Zayn. Zayn's taller than him though, but he's about the same weight. So there's probably a good number of guys that he can't hit it on, which is why they're limiting when he does
but
it.
Then he also has the
spiral tap. They keep mentioning spiral tap.
So he'll pull that out, and that'll get a huge reaction too because it looks great.
Yeah, and he still hasn't hit that. When he hits that, if he hits that in that WrestleMania ladder match, people are gonna shit themselves.
Oh yeah, imagine he does it off a ladder.
I'm so happy he's it's so weird.
I mean, it's Mania, bro. So that's where you pull out the stops.
Isn't it
when you
cool?
hear Michael Cole? Yeah. Whenever Michael Cole calls
AJ
something,
Styles is in WWE. It's something I never thought I would have ever seen.
Oh my God!
Right, that's the only thing that would have made it better, is if JR was there.
JR makes everything better.
Hey, there's nothing that says he won't be commentating Mania. You never know.
That'd be nice. We get at least a match.
You never say never.
At the very least, the main event. I mean,
Austin, I'll tell you right now, if Austin ever officially decided he wants one final match, I bet you JR would be the guy to call it.
Absolutely.
He would have to be. Absolutely, 100% agree with that. I don't know what they're going to do with WrestleMania. It seems like they're setting up triple threat for the girls, the Divas, women's title. It should be the fucking women's title. Get rid of that goddamn butterfly.
Which I thought Charlotte was kind of teasing the idea on social media that she was going to get rid of it, but she hasn't really made any moves to do that. So.
Any headway in that, yeah. So they're setting up the triple threat for the girls. They're setting up the Wyatts versus Brock Lesnar, it looks like. And then potentially Reigns Triple H. Reigns Triple H is going to be the Cena Triple H of our WrestleManias.
Yeah.
This generation. And I hate that. Because he's going to come out and it's going to be the same thing. It's the same promo. You can't wrestle, you're not good, the fans don't like you, but I'm going to lose anyway.
I got to give credit to the intern on that one because he mentioned that a couple shows ago. He's like, that could potentially happen. And
Yeah,
it looks like it just might. I don't know how I feel about Lesnar versus would it be Lesnar versus Bray with the Wyatts around him? Or
No, I feel like it's gonna be a handicap match, and he just
I feel
fucking
like it should
sauces
be
through all of it.
a gauntlet kind of thing where
That would be cool.
he gets rid of Rowan real quick.
Yeah.
Then he has a longer, like a 10-minute thing going on with Harper. Harper gets him exhausted. Then Strowman, pushes him around for a little bit, but then Brock obviously overcomes, and then Bray kind of picks up the pieces.
Yeah, no, that seems like that would be a good strategy, and I wouldn't mind a gauntlet match because I didn't like the handicap match between Vinnie Jones and Mark Henry against Undertaker, or did that turn into a tag match?
Nathan.
Oh,
Jones?
A-Train. What was it? It was one of the Undertaker's streak matches, and it was like a handicap
A-Train
match, right?
and Big Show against Undertaker, and then Nathan Jones came out.
Nathan Jones, not Vinnie Jones. Vinnie Jones is the football player, soccer player, former soccer player. Nathan Jones was the guy, the Australian.
Good day.
He was the guy, what did they call him? The Demon of Bugger Road or whatever it is, and because he was in the prison there in Australia, like their main federal penitentiary.
Did he go to Wentworth?
He quit. He's one of those guys who just up and left during the middle of a tour.
I'm pretty sure he left because he was terrified of flying, and the amount of flying that you need to be able to do. That was what I had heard back in the day. That's why I left.
God, I hope that's not a reason. That's
And he had
never
a
a
little
reason.
part in, what was it? What was one of the movies? I forgot what he was
The
in.
Stone Cold one, 36 rounds? No.
No,
Was
no,
that
I'm
it?
talking before that. He was like a gladiator type dude in.
Yeah,
it was
no, he's
Troy,
got a
I
lot of
think.
film credits.
It was in
actually.
Troy, I believe.
Yeah, he was definitely in Troy. He was
He's
in
one of the
Fearless.
dudes that Brad Pitt killed in Troy. And
He's
then
in-
Brad Pitt yells, "Is there no one else?"
Apparently, he's in Mad Max. The new Mad Max.
Oh, okay, I can see that too.
I haven't seen the new Mad Max yet, but that's pretty cool. Good for him. But I just don't. I think a handicap match in that vein would just slow things. It would be the worst. And I hate to say that because I like Brock Lesnar, I like all those guys in the Wyatt family, but I wouldn't want to sit through 4 of those guys beating him up for 10 minutes and then he hits 16 F5s in a row and pins them all simultaneously.
Yeah.
That's just not what I want to see.
That's why I brought up the idea of being a gauntlet.
That would be
Well,
really,
now-
really cool.
Here's an idea, and this is a real out there look at this.
Mhm.
So we all know that Undertaker is going to have one last Mania, probably this one. And it doesn't say that he has to have a singles match because there's no streak. So
Right.
what if the Brothers of Destruction come together with Brock for Mania to take on the Wyatt family? And then it's kind of Undertaker and Brock working together, which is just a mindfuck to everybody,
Yeah.
but could actually work, and then turn Brock really, I mean, I say turn face, but he's really pretty much face anyway, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I thought they would have. I almost thought they were going to do that at Survivor Series, where Brock comes on Taker's team as kind of like a respect thing.
Yeah, I was going to say the mutual respect would be a good, that would be the
But
way
that's
to book
not a bad idea.
You heard it here first, boys.
it. There you go. And then do they do the ladder match again for the IC title? What do they do? I mean, it's...
I feel like you have to have a ladder match at Mania.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
wish
it's...
they would move Money in the Bank back to Mania and not have its own pay-per-view.
Agreed.
I agree. Yeah,
Agreed.
100%. I don't like that they moved it to their own. I don't like that they got rid of the goddamn Elimination Chamber.
I agree.
And I know they've had problems with it, and that stupid ass, like that, the last time they did it, they had so many problems with the pods not opening or getting stuck or breaking or whatever. But think about this Elimination Chamber. Instead of Fastlane, you have the Elimination Chamber, and it's Owens, Ambrose, Reigns, Lesnar, Owens, and Styles.
Ridiculous.
The best Elimination Chamber match ever, and it's for the #1 contendership.
Yeah.
There
That's
you go.
a hell of a main event.
Right? That's a hell of a fucking Elimination Chamber. and maybe they keep that in the back pocket. But look at those guys; they're all stars right now. I know they want Reigns to be their top guy, but look at all these guys that are getting reactions either similar or bigger than what he's getting. Brock's huge, Ambrose is huge, Owens gets a great heel reaction, AJ's getting this big baby face pop. And I just think that could work, but we're at what we're at, and it's a three-way with Brock and Ambrose, and poor Dean Ambrose.
I mean, we got to say poor Ambrose, but he is the IC champion.
He is.
So he's being a team guy. He's doing what he has to do, and he's still benefiting from it, and he's still getting TV time. I think you can't say the same for other guys,
No, I think he's next. I think he's got to be next. Either SummerSlam or the next Rumble. He's got to win the title at SummerSlam, or he's got to win the Rumble next year and then win WrestleMania, because
Agreed.
They had Seth's journey and Roman's journey.
No,
where the fuck is Dean's? It's Dean's.
Let's complete the trifecta.
Right, complete the trifecta and get us that goddamn triple threat match next year. That's really all we want, is that fucking triple threat match. And that could suck. I don't care if it sucks. I want it to happen.
Now, okay, with that being said, who would you have going in as champion? Would you have Ambrose winning the Rumble and then getting his Mania moment like that, and then someone else creeps in, and then the other is the reigning champ? Who would be the reigning champ? Reigns or Rollins?
I think Rollins. Whoever's the heel at the time has to go in as the champ. So whether they are turning one of these guys, whether they're turning Reigns, I don't think they're going to do that. But it's a year later, so you don't know.
There have been rumors of turning Ambrose for a long time now. So you never. I mean, he would be the one, in my opinion.
But I think if they had a heel, like let's say they had to do it, like if they could do it this year, it would be heel Rollins with babyface Dean and babyface Roman, and then whatever happens. But I would preferably in that situation, if Rollins walks in the champ, then assuming Roman Reigns has gotten his revenge or whatever on Rollins, Ambrose wins. Because I feel like maybe is there something unfinished with those guys, with Reigns and Rollins because of the injury? Did they get all their shit get stopped short, or were they pretty much moving on from that? Like, was it supposed to be Reigns and Rollins going into WrestleMania now? Was that like the plan back a couple months ago, or?
The plan I heard back was going to be they were setting up Rollins Triple H feud.
Oh yes, Rollins Triple H, which I would have been okay with too, I guess. I mean, how many times can Triple H be in a title match at WrestleMania? But hey. After the booking decisions they made got us to where we are. So they took a couple bad months there, and then they turned it around at the Royal Rumble.
But see, that's what I'm saying. Like, I just don't know how I feel about Triple H being champion right now.
And he's not going to defend it until WrestleMania. You've already seen that.
Well, right, he already named it. I mean, listen, he came out on Raw. He didn't even come out in gear. He came out in a suit and tie. Like,
yeah.
It's like one or the other, bro.
Seriously, like.
Yeah, and let me ask you this: if Taker does not involve himself in the whole Wyatt Lesnar thing, what could Undertaker possibly do? Like one-on-one? I mean, Cena's
just go into the Hall of Fame. Don't wrestle anymore.
Yeah,
I don't.
Because Cena's injured, Sting's injured, so who else is there that's up to that level?
Well, he can't wrestle Triple H anymore.
Yeah,
The Undertaker versus AJ Styles.
Oh God.
I mean, I heard Undertaker versus Owens, which I don't know how I feel about that. I heard a weird Undertaker versus Daniel Bryan, which makes no sense.
I actually would be okay, I think, with Owens Undertaker.
Yeah, that could be good.
Because Owens moves slower. It would be a slower paced match. It would probably be a hardcore no DQ type of match. And I think actually that would be, I'd be all right with that match.
Owens is also a good enough heel where he could take heat. Like, Owens was the perfect person to throw at AJ Styles at the Rumble.
Absolutely. Right.
Yeah, and he AJ made fun of him. He's like, welcome to WWE, and he did his pose and shit. Like, that's heat, man. Even though fans, like, some fans do cheer for Owens, because he's awesome. He's Kevin Owens, but, you know, he's good. He's a good heel.
Oh, definitely. I think he's the best heel they got right now.
He gets that old.
I'll say this too, though, and this is not a knock on Owens, because I'm a huge fan of his, but he seemed to get extra winded yesterday on Raw, like more so than usual. Like he was having a tough time catching his breath, so that was making me a little.
Although to be fair, you know, he was in that really long last man standing match and the Rumble.
I get that, but you know, he's noticeably gotten a little bit bigger since he's been in WWE. I don't know if anyone else sees it, but
here's the thing: he was fat, and then he slimmed down to get the tryout, and then get the contract, and now he's
he's trying to go back. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Look at Joe. Joe is leaner.
Joe. Well, yeah. That's the thing. They know that they got to lean out to get noticed. Rusev is the MVP of everything. He is the funniest motherfucker in the world. Did you see him take the TV monitor after he splashed Roman Reigns?
I was wondering about that.
And then he put it up on Twitter. He said, "Lana said to go make history. I am now TV champion." And I'm like, oh no.
And he was the first one to hug Vince McMahon. I was like, that is hysterical.
Yeah, come here, boss. And he like hugs him. Or like the great part, it was a little subtle thing, but somebody pointed out. Vince McMahon did the thing to signal that he jumps. He jumps and splashes Roman. He gets up and he's hurt. You know, because you sell the splash. So he splashes Roman. Rusev gets up, and then he goes, "Rah!" Oh. he's like wanted to celebrate, but he's injured, and he still wanted to do it. Like he did these like 6-year-old. I just scored a basket in a YMCA basketball game hands, and then fell over.
And you know what's weird? You know what's weird about the League of Nations? It's like they pick and choose when they decide to put Barrett in there. And then
because Barrett's still not cleared, I think.
So he's in and out. I'm like,
yeah.
And I'll be honest, Barrett is the only one out of the 4 that I actually give a shit about.
Yeah,
I hate to say it. I'm sorry, but it's my truth. You know.
I have a theory now. I've seen it said on the internet a couple times, and I think they're right. There's something about the brogue kick that rather than knocking somebody out makes them more conscious. Like you don't knock them out, it has the opposite effect. They actually get better. Because every time he kicks Roman Reigns and brogue kicks him, he gets right back up 2 seconds later and spears the shit out of him. So this brogue kick success rate is like 1 in 3, maybe, if we're lucky. How many times does he brogue kick him? And then Roman gets up and just like, I'm fine.
And he's super man.
Yeah, no, he really is. I love that we're into that unpredictable WrestleMania season now.
There's
really in a couple weeks
different ways it can go, which I kind of like because now it's going to be hard to really be like, all right, I mean, we'll have more of an idea. Obviously, it'll take more shape, I guess, after Fastlane, but
right now the thing that you know I was waiting for the whole kind of cringing for the whole Rumble was to hear Daniel Bryan's music and see how the fuck he was going to ruin the Rumble this year.
I'm glad they
were smart enough not to put him in there.
They would have had another situation like they did last year. It was a smart decision not to do it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But you know what? If they put him into the 2014 one to begin with, we wouldn't be having all these conversations.
Right. Oh, by the way, speaking of Daniel Bryan, Nikki Bella, have you heard the news? She's having what could potentially be career-ending neck surgery. So,
I heard that, and that's...
And I'll tell you right now, then that will truly be the end of the Bella Twins because Brie will just go and start having babies.
Right.
Because that's what she wants to do anyway.
Yeah. I think I feel like as a human you can have 2 feelings separately and not have them affect one another. One, that yes, I'm very, I'm concerned about her health and I hope that the surgery goes well and that she's able to lead a long, happy life at 100% physicality. On the other hand, if she was never on television again, I wouldn't miss it.
Agreed.
So it's not that I don't like her and I want her to be crippled in a wheelchair. It's that if she wasn't on TV, I'm at this point you have to be concerned about your health. Fuck wrestling. That health is number one.
Right, and right now with the way the women's division is it's going to be easy to continue to move on. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
That's the good thing.
And you know what? Despite, not being a big fan of hers or whatever, I definitely agree with her winning Slammy for Diva of the Year last year, though.
Because she improved. I mean, she did improve. Yes, she
Like,
worked.
who else would
better.
they have realistically given it to? It made sense for her to get that.
They only brought in. Well, first of all, it's a fan vote, and they're going to vote for who they're trying to, make them vote for anyway.
It's a fan vote.
Yeah. So, and yeah, everybody
Laser.
else was brought in. Laser. Everybody else was brought in halfway through the year, like the NXT girls. It was halfway through the year. So right, for the calendar year of 2015, there was probably no one as consistent as her.
And then I think that the just like the other one for the one that Neville won. I mean, I thought it would have been Owens too, and I'm actually at the end of the day, I'm glad it wasn't because it gave Owens ammunition to pick on Neville and to bring up that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Tag Team of the Year, it definitely should have been New Day also. Again, but it's not like the Slammies really mean anything anyway. But I'm just saying.
Yeah, and now did you hear? Oh my God, when she announces Kalisto during the U.S. title match or during any of his matches, she now says El Ganador de la Slammy Award. And it's just like, oh, it's so crazy because
Lillian
there's
was
no.
a little off her game at the Rumble.
She's hit or miss
A little
sometimes. Every so often she has one of
didn't
those
trip
games.
like that one time.
Oh my God. Or when Charlie Haas knocked her off the ring. Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
She broke her wrist. It was a whole thing.
We're almost at the top of the hour. I just
Yes.
wanted to ask one thing. Have you guys heard the rumor that in the Celebrity Wing this year, they're going to be inducting Regis Philbin?
Yeah,
I did hear that.
I know that he's always been supportive of WWE. He used to always have Hogan and all the wrestlers on, Regis and Kathy Lee and all that.
He appeared on a couple WWF pay-per-views back in the 90s.
Well, he
as
did
well.
some manias is what he did, but other than that, like, I don't really see why. I mean, I never really understand the Celebrity Wing in general, but I don't know why.
I despise it.
I don't know why
Drew
Regis is
Carey.
going in.
Before the WWE Hall of Fame ceremony and all that stuff, had only made one appearance on WWF television. That was that Royal Rumble.
That Rumble. And it was, I mean, given it was very funny, and he tried to, give Kane money and shit like that, and then eliminated himself. But that was the only thing he did.
Yeah,
A lot
he didn't
of
do
other
it. He didn't
guys
do
at
the
least
Hall of
made
Fame.
several appearances. The only ones, to me, in my opinion, that are justified are Mr. T and Mike Tyson.
Absolutely, those guys
As
are
far as
justified.
even the Fridge, I'll give the Fridge.
I can give Trump. Here's the thing: I can give Trump a pass because 2 WrestleManias were at Trump's Taj Mahal, and
And then the
he was
hair versus hair
involved
thing.
in the hair versus hair match, and he bought Raw from Vince that one time.
Yeah,
so
I'll give you one.
He's been a character.
I'll give you one. Lawrence Taylor.
LT. Yep.
LT
Main
should
event
be in
wrestling.
there because he wrestled an actual match and he fucking won. And he actually trained and learned some. He actually came out and did some wrestling. And and Bam Bam, was cool enough to put him over. And it was just it was awesome. Salt and Pepper played him out to the ring.
That's great.
So yeah, no, he should be in there. But Regis, I don't know.
And I'm going to throw out Cyndi Lauper, too, because she was a big part of how WrestleMania became successful with
Absolutely.
her
Captain Lou.
interaction with Captain Lou and Piper and Hogan and Wendy Richter and all them. Deservedly so,
I think that entire rock and wrestling thing, Cyndi Lauper should definitely be in.
And then another thing, I would have thought they would have announced another Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
Yes,
I thought they would have done that as well.
They may just want to be spreading them out a little more.
Right, we do have.
And we talked
a
about
while
this.
to go. It is
If
January.
Sting is not the headliner, who will be the headliner?
How is Sting not the headliner is my question.
Undertaker would be the headliner.
Well, it would have to be someone like
that's true.
Undertaker or Rock.
Right.
Right. That's
And
true.
I think they were going to save Rock because if they go back to Orlando again with WrestleMania, because Orlando's in the bid for 2017.
Right.
So they're going to have a Texas name. It might be the Freebirds. It might be the Undertaker.
I could see
The
and
Von
then,
Erichs are already in, so they couldn't do them.
some old school people, which has nothing to do with Dallas. But I mean,
Well,
I
right
think
now, the rumor is that right now it's going to be the Freebirds, it's going to be JBL, it's going to
I
be...
don't want JBL yet.
I don't either, but they're also saying The Godfather as The Godfather, not like Papa Shango, and Regis Philbin.
I don't like that Hall of Fame class, I'll be honest. And where's King Kong Bundy? Where's Rick Martel?
Yeah.
Where's Big Boss Man, Earthquake?
Amen.
I get it.
Preach.
There's a lot of
Yeah,
guys.
I get it.
Beefcake's been talking lately about he thinks it's going to be any year now where he's going to get inducted.
He should get inducted, absolutely.
If Hogan's in, Beefer should be in for sure, yeah.
Cutting and strutting.
I mean, listen, he never had the greatest career, but he had a long fucking career. He's still wrestling.
Honestly, another reason I want Martel in is so Tyler Breeze can induct him from model to model. I'd love
That
it.
would be cool.
That would be great, especially if, like,
arrogance up on
I was
stage.
just going to say, if he brings him some arrogance, it would be awesome.
Jake would have to be involved somehow, too.
Honky Tonk Man, that's another one.
Honky Tonk, yeah. Well, we're getting towards the top of the hour now. Anybody want to have any
Don't you
final
dare
thoughts?
be sour.
Right.
Francesca
Any final
2 lives.
Francesca 2 got a chant. Roman Reigns didn't even get a chant at the Royal Rumble, but Francesca 2 did.
Wow, that's sad.
Yeah. Steve, anything else? Any updates about Tag Me a Date? Anything else you want to tell the fans?
Well, just, yeah, I mean, once again, we entered a partnership with the Bullet Babe herself, Amber O'Neal. We just tagged up with Robbie E from TNA Impact Wrestling, and there's even more coming, and possibly more with some guys from TNA. So we're
Sweet.
really excited. We got a lot of good stuff coming. We got Amber coming on the podcast. Robbie E's going to come on the podcast, and we got more. So yeah, tagmeadate.com. First month's free.
Excellent. And this has been the Wall Report. Just a reminder, this Saturday, Northeast Wrestling returns to Bethany for our annual over-the-top event. This year, Matt Taven has suffered a severe knee injury requiring 2 separate surgeries. He is out for at least 6 months and is therefore turning in to Northeast Wrestling officials the Heavyweight Championship. Therefore, this Saturday, Bethany, Connecticut, the Northeast Wrestling Arena, the over-the-top 30-man Rumble match will be for the new reigning and defending Northeast Wrestling Heavyweight Champion. So tickets are selling out fast. I think the first 2 rows are gone. You can get general admissions. Maybe if there's some single seats, you might be able to pick up a front row if you're flying solo, if you don't mind sitting spread out. But I know tickets went really, really fast for this. I'm looking forward to Saturday. It's going to be a fun show. Sami Callihan's going to be there. He's not only wrestling Dalton Castle, but he's also going to be in the Rumble. So look, you've got Warbeard Hansen coming in. You've got Dalton Castle coming in. You've got guys like Dijak rolling through the area, Sami Callihan. It's stacked. This is a good show. If you're going to go to any show for indie wrestling in the area this year, to start off 2016, this is the one to go to. NortheastWrestling.com for tickets and more information. Look up the Northeast Wrestling fan page on Facebook. And to play us out, the lovely Noelle Foley and the painted Frank the WWE Clown.
Ladies and gentlemen, Frank the Clown here, along with the beautiful Noelle Foley, and we are here in Pittsburgh to promote TagMeADate.com. What is TagMeADate.com, you ask? Let me tell you. It's a website for wrestling fans who come together and find love, like you and I found love via the internet. Because how did we begin to talk, Noelle? On Twitter. Twitter's a lovely place, but I'm telling you, if Tag Me a Date was around when Noelle and I canoodled, we might have found each other on there. With that said, sign up on TagMeADate.com, and you'll be getting tagged in with dates left and right with fellow wrestling fans. You can sit and discuss the Royal Rumble. You can sit and discuss how you dislike Roman Reigns. You could talk about the gobbledygooker. You could talk about Noelle Foley's sweet little body.
We can talk about a cute clown.
You can talk about anything you want. You can meet people. TagMeADate.com.
Tag me a date.
Boom!